Do you know that there are certain organizations that cannot file for 501c3 tax exempt status using that Form 1023 easy streamlined application? Because I know it costs less and it's easier to submit, but you can't use it. Let's talk about it. Hey, and Happy New Year to you. I hope everyone is having a wonderful new year. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Your story is your mission. My name is Beatrice Adams, and today we are going to talk about who absolutely cannot use that Form 1023 Easy, the streamlined application to file for 501c3 tax exempt status. Take a look.
If you are a church, you generally are not eligible to file for 501c3 tax exempt status using Form 1023-EZ because of specific requirements and limitations outlined by the IRS. Now, a church has a complex organizational structure, including multiple programs. They have multiple governing bodies and affiliations. And the Form 1023 EZ just does not accommodate all of that. Also, keep in mind that a church has automatic tax exempt status. So, in other words, churches are automatically considered to be tax exempt under Section 501c3 if they meet the IRS requirements. So a church is not required to file either Form 1023, which I refer to as the long form, or 1023-EZ, which I just told you you cannot file with 1023-EZ if you're a church. However, now if you want an official determination letter, you must use the full form or the long form, as I refer to it, 1023. Also, keep in mind that churches frequently have annual gross receipts that exceed the $50,000 threshold. That's required when you refer to the 1023-EZ eligibility worksheet. So that's another reason a church can't. And also, Schedule A is a form that a church must complete when they are applying for official 501c3 status. In other words, again, getting that official determination letter from the IRS. And that Schedule A is a part of the long form. And it requires things like a written creed. You have to have a statement of faith. You need to let the IRS know what your summary of beliefs are. Um, Going here, do you have a form of code of doctrine and discipline? Things like that. And you can see I am showing you here the Schedule A. It has quite a few questions that a church is required to answer that, again, the Form 1023-EZ does not accommodate because the IRS wants to know if you have regularly scheduled religious services and do you have an established place of worship? How many people are in your congregation? So on and so forth. So again, churches will not be able to use Form 1023-EZ, the streamlined application, to get approved as a 501c3 tax exempt organization. Now, if you are a school or a hospital, you will not be able to file for 501c3 tax exempt status using the Form 1023-EZ. Even if you are a hybrid school, you're planning on having classes or gatherings or what have you, some from home, some at a designated location, or maybe the students will mostly be operating from home as maybe online or some sort. If you are presenting some type of formal instruction, you have a regularly scheduled curriculum. Say if you're wanting to have STEM classes or introduce that to a certain demographic, you're going to have those regularly scheduled curriculums. You'll need faculty or qualified teachers. And of course, your student body will have to be enrolled. So, this is the definition of a school, and you will not be able to use the 1023 EZ form to do that. Also, hospitals. Now, of course, that kind of goes and speaks for itself. If you are actually offering some type of medical or hospital care or medical education or research, something of this sort, you will not be able to file for tax exempt status using the Form 1023 EZ. Remember when I mentioned that churches require a schedule to be completed using the long form 1023? So does schools. Schools require that as well as hospitals. As you can see, here we are. I'm looking at the Schedule B at the long form 1023. And as well, you can see hospitals have their own schedule. That's Schedule C that has to be completed. You can see it's asking you things like, are all the doctors in the community eligible for staff privileges? Do you or will you provide medical services to all individuals in your community who can pay for themselves or have private health insurance? These are things that are, it's just really too detailed, and the Form 1023 Easy does not accommodate this type of these type of questions. And again, for schools, just take your time and look at this because it's asking you, do you normally have a regularly scheduled curriculum? So when you're looking at these schedules, don't get intimidated. Just take it step by step and answer the questions. Do whatever research you need to do to make sure you get these answers correct because it is laying the very foundation for how you need to operate. So whenever you are completing the Form 1023 Easy or contemplating whether you are eligible to complete the Form 1023 Easy application and file for 501c3 tax exempt status, absolutely please do not leave out the eligibility worksheet. That worksheet is going to tell you whether you are absolutely able to file for 501c3 tax exempt status using this application. Now, if the IRS tells you they could not approve you using the easy form, they most often will give you the opportunity to complete the long form instead. Now, here's the eligibility worksheet. If you I'm not going to go over the entire thing, but just here, number one, do you project that your annual gross receipts will exceed $50,000 in any of the next 3 years? Now, if you expect indeed that your gross receipts will be over $50,000 or will exceed that in any of the next 3 years, and you answer yes to this question, you are not eligible to use the 1023 EZ. And take your time, go through all of this. Again, here it says, have your annual gross receipts exceeded $50,000 in any of the past 3 years? If you answer yes, again, you cannot use the 1023 EZ. And just take your time and go through all of this because they are questions that you absolutely need to consider before you file for 501c3 tax exempt status using, again, the Form 1023 Easy Streamlined application. Yeah, take your time and read through all of this, and I wish you the best of luck. And I'll see you in the next video.